Welcome to Elite Sports Performance and Recovery Podcast. I'm your host, Nate Avila. Today we're going to do an in-person interview. I got my boy here who's also a trainer of the gym. I'm going to go ahead and let him introduce himself and tell me what you do for work.
Cool. What's up, y'all? I'm Coach Rich, trainer here at Die Trying Training Facility in Tempe and Phoenix. I've been a trainer for going on 5 years now, 6 years actually. Started off at a boutique gym working with older people, people coming back from injuries, 55 and up, functional movements and things like that. Transition to being an independent trainer about 3 years ago. Worked at Self-Made in Gilbert for a while, and then found my way over here to Die Trying. I work with athletes, youth athletes, and we're also working with FBA Sports Management right now to do their 2026 NFL Combine and Pro Day prep. So I'm the head strength trainer over there for that.
Dope.
And yeah, it's a little bit about me.
Yeah, perfect. What got you into the business of that kind of like wanting to train young athletes or pro athletes?
Being an athlete myself, I had a trainer at an early age. I think the first time I had a trainer was probably 10, 11 years old, going into a facility like this, jumping, doing crazy stuff, box jumps, squatting, cleaning, and being wrecked from the workout. So I think that inspired me. My mom really inspired me because she is very into fitness. Excuse me. She's probably the main reason I'm a little bit obsessed and passionate about this. She kind of introduced me to hill sprints and things like that when I was like 9 or 10 years old. And then I played football all 4 years in high school. And I was able to play at Miami University for a little bit. And then I moved out here.
Nice.
So when I kind of transitioned away from football, I don't think I necessarily was ready to or I wanted to. It was just wrong place, wrong time type of thing.
Right.
So I wanted to way back into that world and helping out athletes and maybe not being a better coach than maybe some ones I had. You know, I have had some really great coaches and I've been very blessed for that, but I've also had some not so great coaches. So being the best coach I can be and steering them in the right direction and maybe letting them know that there's many options, you know, for them and that they don't have to feel pressured to just choose because other people want them to choose. But yeah, so I started training youth athletes. I work over in Chandler with Cab Training a few days a week over there with his youth athletes. I work over here with my athletes. I was a strength and conditioning coach at Tempe High School for a little bit last year. Helped them get their program kind of together and organized. It's kind of a mess when we got there, but cleaned it up and got those boys looking good. So,
did you ever get your CS? No, I think you need a master's for that.
You can do it. They're gonna do in 2030. They're gonna change it.
Oh, okay.
So my sister's in school for her all that right now, and she texted me the other day, and she was like, if you don't hurry up in 2030, they're gonna require you to have a BA and a master's degree to even do any certifications. So that's in the process.
Okay.
Because I am doing this pro day stuff.
Yeah.
So I want to get more certified, more official. As far as my experience goes,
right,
it's very valuable, and I think that's why I'm in the position I'm in. But now it's time to put some certificates behind it and some.
You kind of like intern your way into the strength and conditioning aspect of it.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Yes. Last year in the pro day process, I got here 2 weeks into it, so I was a little late because I was in Ohio.
Okay.
So I moved back from here. I lived here for 5 years. Moved back to Ohio for 6 months, and then Coach D called me. Ace Training, if on Instagram for everybody out there. That's my dog though. He called me up. I was working at State Farm at the time, and he was like, "Hey, I saw what you do. I like it. I remember you from Self-Made. I need help with these pro day guys. Your role this year is kind of just to help out and, kind of help me where I need spots to be filled in." So I was able to get out here a week ago, maybe. Yeah, what is it today? The 8th?
Yeah.
I got out here on the 4th last year. So I've been out here a year and 4 days.
Damn.
So I came out here last February, and the rest is history. I kind of just filled my role last year, did what needed to be done, and then this year he rewarded me with more responsibility.
Yeah.
And now I have 2 guys under my wing that I'm training. Christian Earls from Purdue, and then Quindarius Dunigan from Michigan State. He's a defensive end, and Christian's a tight end. Gonna go into his pro day combine as a left tackle.
Nice.
So put some weight on him. Got them in the weight room looking good. But yeah, that's kind of how we got to 2026 present day me.
Perfect, because like you can definitely, for the people at home and that are listening on YouTube or on Spotify, Apple, these athletes didn't just, this opportunity didn't just come to you, right? Like you kind of like did put the reps in. You worked at Tempe High School. You did the strength and conditioning. You
100%.
were working with Cap. Now doing this and stuff like that. So like these people didn't just reach out to you like out of thin air in the first year. They just kind of like saw what you did and you built your repertoire off of that, like
Right.
over the longer year. Because that's a lot of people think. They think that like they want to work with athletes right away.
Right.
I didn't work with athletes right away.
Right.
Like I went to school, then I was like working here, working with the gym goers, mainly like pain management and stuff like that, and then kind of like switched to the verbiage of saying I want to work with athletes. How do you work with athletes? You kind of like almost have to know someone to work with athletes. So I got in touch with like my marketing person. She knew someone in the agency to be able to work with ASU, and that's kind of like how I got started onto that, and then built that up by doing the NIL deals. Okay. Basically, if you don't know what an NIL deal is, it's basically name, image, likeness, where you're either giving them a free product or a free service, or you're paying the athlete to come in to get the free product or free service to get like. So you see it all the time with like all the ASU athletes getting trucks in, getting paid to be on commercials and everything like that. And so basically, yeah, just you're in your story. You're saying you got to put in the reps to be able to get the opportunities and kind of like get to know people,
Yes.
network.
Yes. It was not random.
Yeah.
I probably ran into Coach D 100 times before we ever talked about anything like that, you know? So just showing up. That's like my biggest thing is showing up every day, even when stuff is not going the way you think it should be going.
Right.
You still got to go there, put your face in front of people, and put the work in. That way, you know, that's how I got recognized. It's like, oh, he's consistent. I like what you do. You're disciplined. You know, I can count on you. So I want you to come over here and help me. So yeah, absolutely.
Opportunity is big key. And then, so what is like one thing that you see in athletes that you feel like they are missing, needing to improve, or needing to, or in just overall in general with the organization? Like my biggest thing with the athletes is like making sure they have proper recovery.
Right.
So they're having like the recovery tools, like not just the foam rollers and the massage guns, making sure they have a well-rounded recovery team, with including athletic trainers, physical therapists, massage therapists. Because obviously in my license, I can do the massage therapy body work, and obviously an athletic trainer can do the taping and extra work as well too. And then physical therapists are diagnosing and making sure that the sprain or strain or whatever is not, that bad and type of thing. So do you feel like that in the organizations they're missing that key aspect? They have a well-rounded team, or they don't have what is there yet? Like, so take it back to maybe Tempe High School.
Right. I think a few things are missing from a lot of athletes, especially youth. Recovery is probably number one, and a lot of youth athletes are afraid of the weight room.
Mm-hmm.
Especially football players, they think that 7-on-7s and doing field work and stuff like that is going to get them to have a stronger system overall.
Right.
Because like your body's a whole system, an energy system.
Yeah.
And without recovery and proper functional patterns that can be developed in the weight room with strength training, you're gonna have energy leakages, and I feel like that's why. And you probably see it, hip problems, knee problems in their 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old.
Right.
Like that shouldn't be a thing.
I see it at like the age of like 12 already.
Even that.
And it's not, and to see it at the age of 12 already is unheard of, because thinking back to myself, I didn't even, we talked about like when we're younger, you don't have hip pain problems or knee problems.
Shouldn't.
Like you shouldn't.
Right.
But I have younger kids that are 12, maybe 10, like 12 or 11, playing all year round sports, and they're having already low back pain and hip pain for whatever the sport is, and that shouldn't be the case. And even at like the high school level, they're already having serious injuries and problems because they're not doing proper recovery on that aspect of it. And so, like when you were there at Tempe, like, did you ever was aware of that, or it was like something that you learned along the way, or kind of like, oh, we need to change something?
I think going into it, they were very under conditioned.
Mhm.
So like load management was definitely a priority like right away.
Yeah.
And the way that the weights were moving wasn't necessarily pretty.
Right.
It wasn't the right way.
Right.
And they thought they were strong, which you could be strong.
Yes.
And
Yes.
muscle up and hang clean.
Correct.
But like we need to do it for the right reasons.
Right.
And for the technique
Mhm.
and the purpose of the drill
Yeah.
or the exercise.
Yeah.
So I think going into it, yeah, that was the big thing. We only hit the weight room like 3 times a week. And then our 4th day, we just did a lot of mobility and like,
Right.
conditioning and
Yeah.
stuff like that, just to get their systems like acclimated to the changes
Yeah.
and like a strict program.
Right.
You know.
Did you ever take your recovery serious when you were at Miami or in high school?
Yeah, well, yes, my mom made me. So I still have the lacrosse ball. My mom made me get lacrosse balls, bands, and every day I was stretching. Every day I was rolling. Had a foam
Yeah.
roller, things like that. Went to the trainer a lot. Got heated, stem, ice bath, shower, ice bath. I had a
Yeah.
little routine I would do on Saturdays.
Right.
So I did try to keep my body healthy. I had like a hip flexor issue like all throughout high school. I think that was just kind of overcompensations and like strengths and weaknesses in my body.
Right.
That I figured out over time.
Yeah.
Being a more knowledgeable coach and trainer. But yeah, I took it pretty seriously.
See, you heard it here, folks. Taking it serious at an early age.
You have to.
Yeah. It will change your life.
You have to. And people ask me, how are you able to do what I lift pretty intense. People ask me, how are you able to do this and move that way and run fast? And it's like, because I've always managed pain management, load management. You have to. You have to have rest days. You have to stretch. You have to have, I saw chiropractors. I had massage therapists growing up. Like, and you have to just manage those things when they happen or, eventually before they happen.
Exactly.
You have to be impromptu on those. So,
because like I've even some of the trainers in here that I was talking to about like, when did it start becoming, because now you're seeing more athletic work.
Right.
And more mobility work.
Right.
A lot of Instagram videos and stuff like that. You're seeing all that now. You're not seeing the bodybuilding, exercises anymore.
Not really.
Because during like all of 2010 to 2019, that was basically what we saw.
Right.
And the form was, you either had the form or you didn't have the form, and you're just making it look pretty and type of thing. And in my type of line of work, like I didn't start taking recovery serious until like I started getting massages. And then that's when I started realizing sports massages were a thing, and that's where it was lacking. Because what do you see at the pro level guys? You see that if they're not getting their recovery in, that they're lacking in their performance as well, or how do you see it?
Yes, I do think that's important, and they know it's important because they're on our ass. Like,
Yeah.
We feel like this today. Maybe we need. We just had this conversation. I just had this conversation with the guys about their recovery and what to do in the morning.
Right.
Prepping up for the session. So I've given them some things. You've provided them with a bunch of different what would you call it, learning tools.
Yep.
For mobility and stretching and priming the system.
Right.
For a heavy day, because we do put them through a few hours of work. So I do think they're on top of their game with it, and I'm glad that they are, because it's hard to integrate later. When you're younger and it's instilled, or you come from a program where it was important.
Yeah.
It's good to have those habits already, and we can just fine tune them and make it better as you become a professional. And then that's really the best we can do, because we are trying to develop you into a professional. Right. And at some point, you have to become self-sufficient with these things.
Like, do you believe that like at the high school level, because that's like what the starting point of like when you're getting ready for college, and you have 4 years to get that in order before you get to college. Do you feel like some of the mechanics or some of the old learning ways of like without the recovery that these kids, because I think that's another big question. Like I've seen it with parents, I've seen it with just young kids, even when I was back at Chandler High School, that they all have the hopes and dreams of going to D1, maybe D2, D3,
of course,
full ride, right?
Right.
And then the next hope and dream is to go to pro, go to the combine, then get picked up, right? And so I started learning that if you don't have the well-rounded recovery system in place, then the chances of those things happening, even with myself, like those things happening, were very slim.
Right.
Like you're not going to get a scholarship
100%.
off of just being really good, right? Like, gotta have your body in order. And I've seen it with the kids in high school, like that if they weren't getting the routine work done, then they were just not. They're like we had like maybe a select few that got scholarships or signed, right? That type of thing. Even the kids like would come see me and say like my lower back is hurting, even though I worked on it the week before, right? And so that, that's crazy to think that they don't have that capability. That's smart.
Sorry, guys.
Gotta get you a little
I know I need like
little
a
stick.
spoon or something. I'll go get it some forks.
But yeah, like, cause do you feel like when you were doing all that stuff in your high school and collegiate days, do you feel like you would have had a better opportunity to go to the league?
Yes, I feel like that, along with more knowledgeable PTs, more knowledgeable athletic trainers, people like that. Because I did have I had injuries and stuff like that
Right.
that I think inhibited me maybe subconsciously in a
Right.
way that made me perform not up to my full
Right.
potential. Right.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Whether that was just nervous system or me doing it in a subconscious way, like I said.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, I do think so.
Yeah.
I think that does take it a step further.
Further.
For
Yep.
sure.
Because then, are you seeing with the like? I've noticed when I've been working with you with the pro guys that like I've been seeing like some like what we've been talking about in like the last like 3-4 weeks already. That like, oh, you know, Christian's back is very underactive, like
Right.
the middle back to low back, and his traps are very upper. You know, and it was kind of like a moment of like, okay, I'm like, hey, Christian, we got to kind of like change up the routine a little bit,
Right.
like get you out of like in high school we had to do a lot of like shoulder shrugs, right?
Right.
A lot of hang cleans, dead floor to hang
Right.
cleans, stuff like that, and that places a lot of tension
In
in the shoulder
100%.
shrugs. Where now after high school and college, you're stuck, and it's now going to take a little bit to bring it down.
Makes sense.
On that ladder. Even the same with like tight hamstrings and QLs. Do you notice like things that in their body could have been prohibited if they would have worked on it in high school or in the college aspects? Because they have, like Christian was telling me, they have some good guys from where they was from. Like it's top level collegiate, like PT, strength and conditioning. So it kind of like blows my mind a little bit of like, well, why wasn't that offered? Or why wasn't that fixed?
I think the biggest thing in the programs is there's 4 or 5 coaches or student assistants, right? Or GAs, graduate assistants. And there's 103 guys or 110 guys. So you do probably to get some attention.
Yeah.
But you do get lost in the shuffle a little bit.
Right.
You know, just in that chaos.
Right.
So not that it wasn't offered, but maybe the attention to detail wasn't there.
Correct.
In terms of like a more private pro-day training type of environment where we have time to look at your mechanics and everything like that and make those changes.
How do you speak to that to like, let's say a young kid, like parents, like they're not aware or they don't know, like when you started working with like the youth kids, like were you aware to tell like, oh, your daughter or your son, you know, I'm not you're a doctor or anything, but you're like, I'm not giving you medical advice, but your daughter or son, you know, has a particular hip issue. You should probably go get that checked out. Like, did you have that enough information at that time to be able to tell them that, or was it something like, I don't know, and the parents don't know, and so like now it's just like left up in limbo, and the kid are coming back, you know, with the same issue or the same problem type of thing.
I think early on maybe it was a guessing game, like when I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
Trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
But now I'm pretty good and confident in telling people what's going on and who they should go see and things like that.
Do you apply that to your clients too when you're working with them?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. It's easy to kind of look and see what you need to. Okay, you should go do this. Or you need to go see Nate, which I've done with quite a few of my clients.
He has, yeah.
And it helps. So yeah, I think that's important. Having a coach that's able to identify that and steer you in the right direction and not try to train it out of. I see a lot of trying to train it out of them. Like maybe it's not something that you can train out of them. They're just out of position.
Yes.
And being out of position, it's not going to be fixed with over drilling. You know, like
correct.
A certain concept. It's not going to change that. It's a biomechanics.
Yeah.
Thing. So
it's a funny thing that you bring that up. Like, it's a lot of people, mainly you have the trainers that know and that do the research, and then you have the trainers that just don't know.
Right.
And what to your point of like trying to train it out of them, they're always trying to attack the skeletal system.
Yes.
If we can change their yes, posture is important. Correcting posture is important, but you cannot change someone's skeletal system and putting them back asymmetrically. Like if someone's hip is a little bit off, you cannot, as a trainer, if you don't know, tell the client, I'm gonna put it back into a position. Like when I do that, like adjustment on the hips, it's not I'm putting the hip back into alignment.
Right.
I'm just slightly using a different gravitational force to bring the hip symmetrically to its center point, right? And we kind of see it in chiropractic also as well too, where they'll bring it back to a slight degree symmetrical point, not perfect. It's never going to be perfect at all. How do you when like let's because you work with clients, and so when you're working with general population clients, how do you treat them? Do you tell them that you're going to treat them as like your athletes, or do you tell them that you're going to treat them as like a normal based client for whatever goal that they're trying to achieve?
I break it down. I tell them I'm going to treat them like athletes, but I break it down. You can't start them like athletes.
Correct.
So they get a similar program,
Right.
because I think the application's similar in pretty much every aspect. Sets, reps, how it's structured and ordered, things like that can change, but like for the most part, you're gonna get similar results with any program.
Yep.
Just your diet is probably 80% of that. If you want to lose weight and some guy wants to gain weight, you could be on the same program, just macro adjust. But I think I do approach my Gen Pop athletes with the athlete mindset. I think they have a lot more corrective things to work on. Maybe we don't fine tune them as much because it's not necessary.
Right.
But I think my philosophy, especially with Gen Pop, is I'll never put you on a barbell squat on
Right.
day one,
Mhm.
but I'll let you do a body weight squat and do it wrong a few
Right.
times, so you can feel your body doing something you never did before, and then we can correct it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think just getting movement patterns down and things like that, and then addressing maybe some mobility a little bit later on is important, because a lot of people haven't moved really before, so they don't even know.
Correct. Because I see you're in here all like when you're working with your clients, you're putting them through the dynamic warm up,
Right.
but it's not like what we see from other trainers, other people.
Right.
Like it's athletic dynamic warm up. Like you're making them do like, hey, we're gonna do the world's greatest stretch. We're gonna make them do like the hamstrings, the quads, and stuff like that. Versus like we all know the normal basic one is just if you're a regular trainer that if you know or you don't know, you're we're talking from the standpoint of like the not knowings. The ones that know don't come for us because we know that you know. We know that you're smart. We're talking about like you just got certified yesterday and you're going into this idea of like I'm gonna put my client through a dynamic warm up, and so we see it all the time. We know which the basics dynamic warm up looks like, and so do you make your clients do the athletic dynamic warm ups every single time, or kind of like based off of like what they need to warm up with?
Same warm up. Everybody does the same warm up. Athletes, youth athletes, Gen Pop, I do the same warm up. It's just scalability, right?
Right.
Everything's scalable, like in my program, or at least like my idea of how you should structure a program. So like my Gen Pop maybe will do like the dynamic movements, 10 yards, the knee pulls, the quad pulls, stuff like that. But they won't do skips and pogo hops and plyometrics. Some of them get to that point and advance to that point. Um, but starting out, no. But yeah, everybody has the same warm up, and then we incorporate mobility as needed. So if it's an upper body day and somebody's, whatever is tight, we'll work on that. Maybe we'll do some banded pull aparts or whatever. I try to let the clients, I expose them to a lot of different things so they can figure out
What works best?
for them. And then, oh, hey, I liked when we did these, or I liked when we did these. I'm like, okay, cool, let's do those because we got bench press today.
Right.
And we kind of just do it like that.
What is the homework that you usually give them?
Walk a lot.
Yeah.
That's number one.
That's big key.
Walk a lot and be conscious with your feet. I think everything starts from the feet. My feet used to be super severely messed up, flat. I have a little bit of an arch now through years of work and rolling my feet and learning things and stem and all kinds of stuff.
It's a banded tissue.
Yes.
You can recreate that.
Yes.
It's not like damage. A lot of people think it's damaged for some
No.
odd reason.
Right.
I'm like, did you tear it? They're like, no.
Right.
They're like, I just have plantar fasciitis. I'm like, oh, okay, that's just me. It's just tight. Yeah.
Right. Your body just needs to relax. So I
Exactly.
think a lot of people have relaxation problems. So going back to that, I make them walk.
Yeah.
But being conscious of your feet, like where they're pointing directions, driving off the ball of your foot, internal ball of your foot, things like that.
Yeah.
And just depending on what they want, I give clients a lot of core homework. If they need like mobility stuff, normally they go see you and then they get homework from him as well. But strengthening your core and stuff like that. I sent a client home with the lacrosse ball today because I introduced him to the lacrosse ball on his feet, and he thought it was the greatest thing ever. So I said, here, take this one. I have like 4 or 5 of them.
It's crazy how like something so accessible cannot be bought.
Right.
Like we know because of the fact that we're here and that we saw it in high school. Right. Even if like you're in just like regular PE class, you have the tools there, but you just don't know what to do with it.
Right.
And so it's like mind blowing the fact that like people don't know where to get them. Amazon.
Right. That's what I told them. I'm like, or you could take this one, but it's $7 on Amazon.
Yep.
For a 2-pack.
It's crazy because they might get off a little topic here, but a foam roller. Go to Shields, Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah.
They charge you $40. Go to TJ Maxx. Go to Ross. Maybe $9 to $15, and those things are not that expensive when you go overseas, type of thing. So it's just crazy the amount of like expensiveness of it.
Right.
Like for a nice good foam roller.
Even the Amazon basic ones we got over there.
Yeah.
Those are decent.
Yeah.
Those get the job done.
Those are like I think $15.
Yeah. We just got some new ones. They're cheap. They're good. Amazon has pretty good gym equipment. I'm not gonna lie. So.
Like you said, Amazon. You just buy, search it.
Right.
But the thing is, like, how many times have you referred athletes, clients, a foam roller? They buy it, they just don't know what to do with it. What do you think is missing on that piece?
They just do it feels good.
Yeah.
And then nothing ever happens, right? It's like, oh, my back, I'm gonna roll. And then I check my phone.
Yeah.
Then, oh, that spot hurts, so I'm done.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that was supposed to happen. Now, let's get the intentionality behind why, we're trying to get and access those pain points and things like that. And even with our pro day guys, you provide them with the foam roll routine.
Yeah.
They've all been on it. So I think they're always around, but you just kind of see people playing around.
Yeah.
And then, it feels good, and there is a purpose for them.
Yes.
But if you're just doing it to feel good, that's all you're gonna get out.
Correct. Yep. And because like you've already mentioned it a couple times about nervous system work. When did you start realizing that your nervous system was maybe out of whack? Like, and meaning like not like saying that you're crazy, meaning that
right.
Like when you say nervous system work, because a lot of people think like, oh, I'm crazy. No, it's nervous system work is basically getting in tune with your inner self, if you want to call it. Like you're getting in tune with your inner self of like what things in your body are hurting and what things that you need to fix or correct. Or sometimes it's not even muscle related or skeletal related. It could be like, I need to sleep better. I need to drink more water. I need to go for a walk. I need to meditate. I need to breathe. Like do breath work. So when did you notice that for yourself?
I think you just mentioned a lot of things that I was already doing. It's my routine, right?
Right.
I've been in the gym. I train. My program is pretty solid. And I have this knee pain, this back pain, this hip pain, all these things. So
I think it was like a year ago when you came to me and you were like, I have these problems.
Yes.
And without setting foot on the table, I was like, just foam roll your feet.
Yeah.
And stretch, do your stuff. But the biggest thing I was like, make sure you do a lot of breath work. Calm your nervous system.
Yeah. So I started working on my feet again, which I used to when I was younger in high school, middle school, because I had flat feet. So if you don't stay on top of stuff, young athletes, it will come back. So make sure you do what your coaches tell you to do. Okay, back to the thing.
Back to the start. Yep.
So I started foam rolling my feet. I had access to like a TENS unit, and I was sitting there one time messing with it, and I put it on both feet. I was like, why not? Let's just see. And my right foot was really reactive to the stimuli, and then my left foot was not so much.
Yeah.
And all my pains and my injuries, collarbone injury, broken left clavicle, 6 screws, 2 plates, knee problems. I broke my left ankle, strained my hip flexor. So like I've always had issues on the left side.
Dang, you have all that on your left side, and you're in here still running like you're in high school.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I did
Yeah.
the work. I did the work. Yeah.
That's crazy because I see a lot of people like when they have those injuries, they are nowhere near back to the level they were before coming in to see me.
I'm not, it's not even an argument, but I'm stronger faster than I was at 18, 19, 20 now, like 100%, just because I understand the system better. But like I was saying, like my feet were messed up, and especially my left side. I couldn't even really do a back squat. My knees hurt so bad, and it was just like so painful. My mobility was so bad. I was very flexible, but I wasn't very mobile.
Yes.
So I had to start doing a lot of corrective work, a lot of banded TK, basic stuff to start,
Yeah.
And then you go down the rabbit hole of, okay, this isn't enough anymore. What do we do? Isometrics, tens unit work, isometrics, contracting stuff on the weights, getting my knee feeling better and getting those tendons strengthened back up and loosened up because these muscles were so tight because there was nothing firing here.
Yep.
And in my glute for so long that it was just quad work.
Yep.
And just straight quad work. So that's why I had a lot of pain. So we worked that out, and then just introduced the plyometrics again in the sprinting, proper mechanics, A skips, pogo hops, bounds, all the stuff that people don't want to do. 90-90s
The
before
boring
you
stuff.
do that stuff.
Yep.
PVC pipe work. You're doing marches and all that. And my dynamic warm up is people think it's crazy, but it's 20-25 minutes, and I'm dripping sweat before it's over because I can get up and sprint right now,
Right.
and be pretty close to top speed,
Right.
because I've done all the work to prime my nervous system to be this way.
Yeah.
But it's still important if you're going to expose yourself to it and you have a controlled environment that you do control it and you do a proper warm up.
Right. That's crazy because like you sometimes I hear it when they're on my table that they want to get to be able to run top speed, or they want to be able to run a mile in a certain amount of minutes, or they want to, with no training involved, do a half a marathon and go
Silly.
try to hit a, let's say if it's a 5K, try to do it in like 12 minutes.
Right.
And it's like, okay, what? And the craziest amount of things, like people are running to train for these 5Ks every day. And not good at all. Like it's more so like you are placing a lot of stressors on your nervous system and your body, the bones, the joints, the feet, where by the time you go to running that 5K, you might get the PR you want, or you might come back and say it's not the best, run that you've ever had, and you're going to do it all over again. But to his point, is that whole dynamic warm up sweating is getting him ready for his what we call compound lifts. If you're new to the fitness world, because how much are you squatting now?
5, 10 for 3. It's pretty good.
Were you doing that in high school? Were you doing that in college?
No, my max was like 400 in high school. It was pretty good. I deadlifted 500 in high school, so my dead was pretty good, but nowhere near it is now.
Right. Because imagine that you were in high school or in college, you did that for 3.
Right.
They would have looked at you as gold.
Right.
Because of your just structure and body type. Right. Like your nervous system is low, and like everything you've been working on is so low. Your coaches probably would have been like, this kid's going somewhere. This kid's gonna make it.
100%. 100%.
He said, "Damn it!
Make sure you squat 500, guys." No, we're joking, but
that's even crazy too.
Right.
It's like non-human. Well, people say it would be human, but still non-human. Because you can see a bodybuilder do that.
Right.
CrossFitter do that.
Right.
Ass to grass. They can do all that.
100%.
But with controlled form?
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep. Yeah.
100%.
But feel like we touched a lot of bases. I would say if you covered everything, anything else you want to cover?
I don't think so.
No, I don't know. This is a good
Trying to
first
think.
episode.
It was.
Yeah,
I know. I feel
it was
like
like on track.
it was.
A little off tangent a little bit, but nah.
Got to get our character out a little bit.
Yeah.
We're a little tense. It's the first episode. It's okay. The music's a little loud, but it's all the things, bro. You know, we're just blessed to be here. And
Exactly.
Super Bowl Sunday. Who you got? Oh,
I'm gonna go with the Seahawks.
I like that. You know why? Well, you go first.
Well, the reason why is like,
of course.
So I'm not a big football fan anymore. I stopped
Okay.
watching football because of the fact that like it really gets to the point of like once you start seeing the same teams over and over in the Super Bowl,
Right.
it gets repetitive on Super Bowl Sunday. You don't
Uh-huh.
want to really watch it anymore, and then you watch it for the commercials or you watch it for the halftime show. It's like, and then at the point where like all the OGs to me like are retired. Like
I feel that.
like,
I feel that.
I don't really have any use to like a team. Like I'll root for, still people like I used to like the Rams when I was younger. Used to like the Dallas Cowboys, but now it's just like okay, like football. I think after high school, understanding that football is a different type of game, you can almost essentially root for anybody at that point. But I'm rooting for the Seahawks because of the fact that they've had a good run this entire season.
Right.
I still keep up with the highlights. I still see it. They hadn't had, much injuries, I would say, because like that's another thing too. In this field that I'm in, I watch it for the fact of like what's wrong with them, like with the injury type of style. When someone gets hurt, like what happened? Try to like brain start diagnosing like what could be preventing that person from getting injured next time. But yeah, overall Seahawks had a good run.
Yeah.
Entire season.
I want to see Sam Darnold
running back.
Get some love, man.
Yeah.
You know, he's been through the ringer with his previous team. So
yeah.
I think he deserves it. And he's a good quarterback, but yeah, so Seahawks, but my boy Stephon Diggs. It's tough.
Like, come on.
Right. But I've seen the Pats win 7 times.
Exactly.
In my lifetime.
Now, do you have like an idea of like what do you think your prediction is? Because everyone's like, I've heard people think that the Seahawks are going to blow the Patriots full quarters. I think they might be up, maybe third, by this almost close to the end of this first half. Patriots come back, they take over third, a little bit going into the fourth. Seahawks comes back, winning.
Okay.
Yep.
You know what? I don't know. Let's make a random score prediction. I don't have an in-depth one, but I'll say Seahawks 27.
27?
27.
Not getting into the 40s or nothing? No, it's going to stay.
Super Bowl. It's a Super Bowl. It's going to be way more commercials than
True.
You know how they do it. So
not even 35.
27. 27 to. This ain't like last year. Last year was crazy. 27 to 13.
13?
13.
They're gonna miss a field goal?
Yeah. Why not? Why not?
That's a good accusation there.
You never know.
You never know. We had me and Suave had that same conversation. But he was like, nah, they'll probably be up like in the 30 range.
Okay.
You know, type of thing.
Okay.
But I can
see like a 38 to 38 to
like 21.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
so
that.
like he's like they're not gonna be up ahead like by 4 or 3. Like 4.5. Like you can't do that. Like because right now all the bets are like they're gonna be up like 4.5 or maybe 5.5. Like it's mathematically it doesn't make sense.
Right.
So I'm just saying like I'm not going by numbers. I'm just going off of like maybe they're going to be up the first couple quarters and then something happens and then Patriots are going to come back and then by third quarter they're still going to be up and then by fourth quarter Seahawks are just going to take it. They'll whoop their ass. That's basically it.
I hope so. Go Hawks.
But don't say that to a Seahawks fan. They'll be like, "No, man, they're gonna kick ass all the way." But yeah, this has been a great episode. Follow it on YouTube. Follow it on Spotify. Elite Sports Recovery and Performance. I'm Nate. This is Rich. We'll catch you next time in a different setting.
Later.
Later.